Hey everyone, welcome back to iHeart Sports. Alex Hart here, and today I'm going to do a fun video really for the beginning of the 2021 season. I'm just going to rip through all 30 teams. I'm going to list one player from each team, which pretty much I'm the most excited to watch and see from that specific team. Had a little bit of difficulty with some teams, and some other teams, other people are going to be like, what? You're excited to see that guy? A little bit of bias in here, so this will probably help you understand me as a baseball fan more than anything. Basically tried to film this all in one go and a new kind of setup, so let me know what you think on that. And yeah, I'm just going to go ahead with the videos. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe. We're going to be doing this all season long, and I'm hoping to do a lot of fun videos along the way. Thanks. Alright, we're going to try and rip through this. Going by the logos, really. So we're starting off with the Los Angeles Angels. They're an A, so we're starting with them. For me, Shohei Ohtani. It's a pretty interesting guy. He's pitcher, batter. Can go do it both, and I'm looking to see if really he can do the pitching side of it and the batting. He hasn't really had a successful season where he's done both, so that's what I'm really most excited to see with him. And yeah, I know you can really speak Trout and all them on them, but Ohtani's the guy I'm looking most forward to. Next, we got the Oakland A's, and for them, this one was a little bit difficult, but I got to go with Matt Chapman. To be honest, I'm not too interested in anyone on the A's, but he kind of stands out as the biggest home run guy. Other than that, it's pretty mediocre for me. So that's who I'm going to be looking to watch the most this season, see if he can crush the ball the way he has in the past. Coming up next, we got the Houston Astros, right? And it's pretty interesting for me. It's Altuve. Altuve is coming off that questionable trash can moment where he kind of backslid. People saying it's mental, but was it just the beepers not on him anymore? So gonna be keeping an eye on him. He's the most interesting guy in Houston that I'm gonna be looking to see if he can have that bounce back year to be more what he was like, or are we always gonna remember Altuve as the cheater? Next up, we got the Red Sox, and this one I thought was pretty simple. Alex Verdugo. He was the biggest part in the Mookie Betts trade, and he's coming in. Really, it's going to be his first full season on this team, and the first full season really in the majors. He's always had like partial seasons and things like that. So seeing if what the Red Sox gave up Mookie Betts for him, looking to see what he can do. So I'm excited to see Verdugo this season. Next up, we got the Braves, small logo, I know. This one's, again, one of my favorite players in the league, so I'm going to have to pick him. Freddie Freeman. Crushes the ball. He's a big part of this team. Potential MVP, Triple Crown winner. So that's who I'm going to be tuning in when it's the Braves. There's a lot of players on this team that we can choose, but for me, it's the Braves and Freeman. Next up, we got the Milwaukee Brewers. This one was somewhat interesting, but of course, I want to see, like most people, can Yelich come back and be the player that they signed to that contract? He had an atrocious year last year, and they're looking for a bounce back, and I'm going to be looking to see if he can do it. So that's going to be what's got me tuning into Milwaukee games the most, and that's for sure, and it's pretty standard on that one. Next, we got St. Louis Cardinals. My favorite player on this team, so I gotta obviously pick him. And it's even more interesting because Arenado he's on this team for the first time this year. They're gonna be trying to win the division. He's gonna be a big part. It's gonna be interesting to see Arenado outside of Coors Field. Can he continue the power? I hope so, and I'm gonna be tuning into a lot of Cardinals, at least in the early going, to see how Arenado fits in with the rest of this team. Next up, we have the Cubs. There's a lot of players on here, and we talked about it in the preview video. They got a lot of guys coming up, but for me, the most interesting, Chris Bryant. Bryant is on his last year with the Cubs. Probably won't re-sign. There's not a lot of indication. There's a lot of trade rumors about him in the offseason the years before. And I think if the Cubs aren't in playoff contention, he's a name we're definitely going to see going around in rumors at the trade deadline. Let's see who we got next here. Arizona Diamondbacks. This is one of the more difficult ones, but for me, it was Bumgarner. Probably spelling that wrong, but Madison Bumgarner coming off potentially, not even potentially, it was his worst season of his career. He was only 41 innings pitched, but still the worst. New ballpark, new team last year. So it's either going to be slowly out the door for him, or we're going to start seeing a rebound. He is supposed to be their ace, so potentially bad team, potentially ending his career. So I'm going to be watching Madison Bumgarner. I'm hoping he can turn it around a little bit here. Next up, we got the Dodgers. This one's pretty easy for me. It's Mookie Betts. Betts, best player on the best team. I like watching greatness, so that's what I'm gonna have tuning in. 5-tool player, amazing defense, amazing offense. So I always like watching him. So that's gonna have, not that you need a lot of reasons to tune into the Dodgers, but that's gonna be my reason for the most part. Dodgers, Mookie. San Francisco Giants. I had a couple in here, but I went with Yastrzemski. I guess there's a lot of hype around this guy last year, and looking over his stats in preparation for this video, just doing all in one run here, but it wasn't anything great. But I want to see what other people see, so I'm going to be tuning into some Giants, some pitching I want to watch along the way. But Yastrzemski is the guy I'm most excited to see this season. Can he continue what people are getting all hyped out about in the past seasons? Next up, we have the Cleveland Indians. For me on this one, I went with Shane Bieber. He was amazing last year. And for the Indians, they need their pitching to continue to be amazing if they're going to have a chance. So Bieber, I want to see, is he this ace that he was last year? He can be an ace for 1 year. There's been many pitchers that have done it for 1 year, but if he can do it for multiple years, then I'm going to get on board. So I want to see it, and that's what I'm going to be going into Cleveland. That's what I'm going to be most watching with Cleveland Indians. Toronto Blue Jays, and if you don't know this already, Blue Jays are my team, but Vladdy Guerrero Jr., he's the reason I'm going to be watching the Jays the most. I want to see this young star take a big step forward. This is a big team. They brought in some additions that other people are excited about. I could have listed many different players on this one, but for me, Vladdy is the staple. That's what they are building this future around, this player. So if he can have an amazing season, this team is going to be deadly, and I'm so excited to watch them. So that's who has me hyped for the Toronto Blue Jays, and I'm going to be checking him out a lot. Next, we have the Seattle Mariners, just south of me here in Vancouver, and I'm going to be watching and most excited to watch Paxton. He's making a return to Seattle, where he pitched the majority of his career. He was a solid pitcher for them in the past. He's coming off the worst season of his career, and that was with the Yankees. Shortened season, all that stuff. So pitching-wise, I'm expecting a bounce back. The offense of this team, not a whole lot to be excited. They're going to be somewhat poor, so at least they have Paxton to keep me interested, and I'm going to be watching for him a lot here. Next we have the Marlins. This one was somewhat interesting, and when I was getting ready for the preview videos, I heard a lot about this guy, so it got me excited the most. It's Jazz Chilholm. I don't know a lot about him, but I've been reading about him, and he's been having, I guess what they say, he won the position by basically default in spring training. But yeah, I'm gonna be watching when I'm watching Marlins games. I'm gonna be looking for this guy to make a difference, because that's what people are talking about. They're talking about this guy, so I want to see what the talk is about. And yeah, that's basically it for the Marlins. Mets, of course, this is pretty standard for most people. It's Lindor. Pitching wise, we all know who they got, but Lindor is a big guy they brought in. He's on a 1-year contract as of right now. If they don't sign him by the beginning of the season, then he's going to going to the season without a contract, and they'll have to revisit that in the offseason. He's coming off the worst season he's had, so the fact that he's been offered so much already, there's a lot to be around him. So Mets putting a lot in faith in this and hoping to make a big stride forward. They have a lot to compete with in this division. So Francisco Lindor, I'm going to be watching you the most. Washington Nationals, another interesting one. We got Juan Soto. All the MVP talk is around this guy already. I haven't given him enough credit because I haven't watched him enough in the past seasons. So I know I'm going to be tuning into Washington National games on the regular, looking for Juan Soto, seeing what all this hype is about, because I don't remember anything sticking out too much. Last year was tough because he didn't start the season with them fully. It was a COVID season, so didn't get a whole lot of hype around him myself, and the Nationals were a little poor, so I'm going to be watching for Juan Soto on this Nationals team. Okay, moving on. We got the Yankees. Who did I got for them? I picked, Corey Kluber. He is coming off 2 seasons here where he really had 8 games over the course of the 2 seasons. Before that, he Cy Young candidate years, pitcher in Cleveland, was very strong. I know a big part of their rotation, a big part of their success in the past. So I want to see if he's going to be able to bounce back. For these past 2 years, they're hoping just to write off, and the Yankees are going to have him. Of course, the Yankees have tons of talent on this team. But for me, I'm most interested in seeing how Corey Kluber, how he fits into this rotation, and if he can be that solid second that they really brought in here, it's going to be really good for the Yankees. Orioles. This one was very difficult for me. It was hard for me to find someone, but this is what I came up with. He's new. They just brought him in, Matt Harvey. And that's not much I can say. He's been bounced around the league. I want to see Orioles maybe desperate for some pitching, but he's given them enough to at least give them a major league contract. So I want to see if he can crack this lineup. If you can't crack the Orioles lineup, Matt Harvey, your career is all but finished at this point. Seriously. San Diego Padres, again, another team that there's lots of people to pick from. But for me, it was Manny Machado. His 3rd, 4th year on this team. He's there for a long contract. He's really who they brought in at the beginning to start building this core and to get ready to compete for these Dodgers. So I like Manny. He came from Baltimore. He was solid. He was always someone who competes every night and always a threat, triple home run games, all that stuff. So for me, I want to see Manny. I want to see him be successful, and I'm going to be looking at him specifically on this Padres team to be the difference maker, to possibly put him over the top into contention, like over the Dodgers even, make a threat, right? Phillies. Everybody knows who I'm going to pick here. It's Bryce Harper. This is the man that the Phillies are going to rely on. If they're going to go anywhere, if they're going to be a threat in this East at all, they need Bryce Harper to be the leader. It's time. He's a veteran now. Like, he's been in this league for so long. He's time to step up and prove the contract that he signed and go to the next level. So I'm going to be watching Bryce Harper. Without him, to me, these Phillies is not a lot to bring me in there. Little shout out to JT Realmuto because I'm a big fan of him. Pirates. Oh, this one was tough. Who did I get? Oh, I want Gregory Polanco. Really, this team is so hard to pick a player. I guess just by looking at it, of all the teams in the league, this was the hardest one to pick. So I guess that goes to show they're the worst team in the league. And I probably won't be tuning in too much with them. They don't have anyone that really stood out to me. And Polanco, I like him. He's always been that player that at least puts up something fantasy-wise. He was someone I would pick on from time to time. So that's really why I picked him, because I didn't have a reason to pick anyone else. Texas Rangers. This is another one of those ones where I'm kind of like dealing with what other people are thinking, and I haven't really done my own. I haven't seen this guy myself. Ronald Guzman. He's their new first baseman. And a lot of people are hype around him, stats-wise, from what I've looked up. Nothing to write home about, but people are hype around him, so that gets me hype, and I'm going to at least be looking to see what this guy can do over the beginning of the season, and my eyes are going to be on the Rangers and Guzman. That's for sure. Tampa Bay Rays. This one was simple for me. Randy Arozarena or whatever. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. Arozarena. But he had an amazing playoff. He had a great end of the season, but he hasn't had that chance to put a full season together yet. So I want to see it. I want to see what he's a big part of. They gave up their pitching. They're going to be really relying on this offense to really go forward. So, Randy, let's see what you got going forward here. Cincinnati Reds. For the Cincinnati Reds, I have a pitcher, Luis Castillo. Louis, it's time for him to prove if he's that ace that the Reds can rely on. They no longer have Trevor Bauer. It's his turn to step up. This team is now his team to pitch for. And I like when people are given this opportunity. Can they prove to be that? I guess time will tell. And I'm praying for this guy. I'm rooting for him. I like him. And I'm going to be tuning in on his starts very often for sure. Colorado Rockies. This one is another one of those situations. Trevor Story. He's like the best player left on this team, and he's in the final year of his contract, so kind of expecting him to be traded. Coors Field, want to see if he can live up to the hype. He had some good years here at Coors, so with him possibly being a big trade asset, that's the player I'm going to have my eyes on the most for the Colorado Rockies. Next up, we got the Royals. Who do I got here? Oh, Benintendi. I like this. The Royals added him in the offseason, and I liked it. Just seeing his name at the top of the order when we were doing the previews got me excited. Got me excited for the back-to-back Whit Merrifield Benintendi combo at the top. Again, the Royals aren't anything to like be super excited about, but they did try to do something, right? So that's what I'm going to be looking forward to. Again, he's another one of those AL East kind of guys that came from my home division, so a little bit biased here, but that is going to have some of my ears. This one is easy. Miggy, he is Detroit Tigers. 487 home runs he's had. Very, very likely, unless there's like an injury or something, that he's going to hit 500 this year. And that's basically what the Tigers have going for them. They're going to all be watching Miggy hit his 500th. And by the time he does, they'll probably be well out of the playoff spot. Minnesota Twins here. Same kind of thing. It's funny, they're actually back-to-back. I got Cruz. He's also in that same kind of category. He's chasing 500. It's pretty much impossible for him to hit it this year. He's at 417 home runs. So whether he can put up like 30, 40, he's probably 2, maybe 3 years away from getting there. But if he can put up 40, then that's what I'm going to be looking for. Can Cruz put up 40 home runs? That's essentially what I'm saying here. Chicago White Sox. Most people would have other players than this, but for me, it's Adam Eaton. He's returning to the White Sox. I've always been a fan of this guy, and I think he was a big part of the Nationals when he was at the top of the lineup, as long as he stays healthy. And that's always been the biggest problem with him, of course. So they have him slotted further down the lineup. But I think this is a big addition. They're a strong offense already, and he's one of those flex players, and I just really like him. So that's who I got, and most people would have someone very different than that. That's for sure. All the teams, these are the players I'm most excited to watch on this 2021 season. And yeah, thanks for watching. Please hit that like, hit that subscription, and we'll see you for the next video.